So let's read the comment. It says, maybe someone please just would address that BJJ has a serious development problem. Most coaches teach you the same as you are a white belt and demand advanced skills. What's up, guys? So in this video today, I was going to answer a little comment that was left in one of my YouTube comments. And I've actually had this question happen before. So yes, I do read the comments and I do respond also. So if you guys ever have any comments or questions that you would like me to address, please leave them down there below. I can't always answer them all, but some I've addressed in other videos and then some are a little bit newer and I've never made a video over this topic. How's it going, everybody? My name is Chasen Hill. I'm a Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I've been teaching and training now for 13 plus years. I help everyday Jiu-Jitsu students like yourself just get a little bit better at Jiu-Jitsu, whether that's training in person or online or wherever you find some resources. So you guys are here obviously to find out some information. If you're newer to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Also give this video a like if you're a returning subscriber. It really does help me in the YouTube algorithm. I also know most of you that are watching are not subscribed to this channel. I have the evidence. So let's read the comment. It says, maybe someone please just would address that BJJ has a serious development problem. Most coaches teach you the same as you are a white belt and demand advanced skills. Might surprise many, but being a blue belt for long years are not just student problems, but a coaching problem too. That's a pretty full question there. So he definitely, the person that left the comment definitely has a valid point that jiu-jitsu at times does have a coaching issue. 100%. Not all jiu-jitsu coaches are created equal. There are amazing coaches and then there are coaches that are not. Jiu-jitsu has a developmental issue. Let's first address that problem first. Development issue. I guess it means, what do you think it needs to be developed? First, we need to understand that there are really two types of students in jiu-jitsu. We have the jiu-jitsu hobbyist and then we have the jiu-jitsu competition person. So when you say development issue, each one needs to be approached differently. I'm not sure where you train. I'm not sure who your coach is, but if you haven't accurately articulated to your coach what your goals are, if you're a hobbyist or if you're a competition person, that's going to definitely change the way that they might coach you or the expectation they might have on your development as an issue. Now, as a whole, jiu-jitsu, I do think, has a problem with a lot of times jiu-jitsu instructors just have what we call a throw and stick method or spaghetti on the wall. They usually just throw a bunch of random techniques out there and they say it's up to you over time to see them and to learn them and to collect what's yours, and it's not up to them to show you stuff or whatever. I've heard a lot of different theories and thoughts. I definitely do think that that's not the best way to approach. I think personally that each white belt, from basically white to blue belt, a school should kind of have a set curriculum that's purely based on fundamentals and basics. We can all pretty much agree that there are standard fundamentals students should learn: shrimp drills, shoulder rolls, elbow escapes, basic submissions from the guard, basic submissions from the top. So I definitely think that should be a fundamental thing at each school. Now, each academy might put different emphasis on what they think it should be. And I definitely think that's where jiu-jitsu gets cool, because at the end of the day, jiu-jitsu is an art. So it's up to an individual's self-expression on what they want to get good at. Some guys are good at playing in the guard. Some good guys are good at playing in the top. Some girls might even be great at takedowns. So each person's jiu-jitsu journey is definitely different. Yes, jiu-jitsu definitely does have a developmental issue in the sense of it doesn't a lot of times teach as a whole. Usually a lot of times instructors are very biased to what they do, unfortunately. So if you have a small guy, for example, and he plays a very specific game that he's been great at in his sportive environment, then a lot of times that gets heavily taught because he's not necessarily used to playing a bigger guy's game. I definitely find myself sometimes going toward that bias, but I try my best not to swing that way. If I, especially working with a student one-on-one, or I'm addressing their biggest needs for whatever, I will try to attempt it the best I can, what I think is best for them, not bias it toward what my own end is. But a lot of times students will just kind of gravitate to what you do naturally, because when I'm sparring, I'm gonna play my game in the way that I roll. So a lot of times students will adopt their instructor's game because that's how they're feeling them roll. Sometimes it's different, sometimes it's not. But that's a very common thing I've seen. I play a lot of heavy butterfly guard and bottom sweeping position. So even my students that are bigger, they usually play a lot of butterfly guard in that position as well too, because they feel it from me. A development issue could be done several different ways, but I definitely do agree with you that there can be an improvement in the jiu-jitsu industry as a whole to help students basically learn a set curriculum or the basics and fundamentals, if you want to call it that, better in order to get to that coveted blue belt faster. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I do offer an online coaching program where we go through different jiu-jitsu techniques. We break down your own game plan. We're part of a like-minded community where we do a mastermind call every week. So that way you guys can start getting better at your jiu-jitsu sooner rather than later. So if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you check out that link down below and you can schedule a free strategy session with myself and we can see if you're a good fit. So the next part of the comment was, most coaches will teach you the same as you are a white belt while demand advanced skills. Yes, so I'm assuming you're meaning going from white to blue belt and demanding advanced skills. Might surprise, but being a blue belt for so long, so many years, are not just student problems, but a coaching problems too. So yeah, definitely I do demand more out of a blue belt to become a purple belt, for example. I think that's what you're referring to. I think you're talking about the blue belt level skill and the demand a higher skill than a white belt to become a purple belt. And yeah, also what I'm expecting is my blue to purple belts to have some kind of a game developed and to be smoother than a 4-stripe white belt. So I did a whole video right here talking about what I expect from blue to purple belt. So if you guys haven't already checked that out, make sure you do that right now. But yeah, I mean, that is pretty vague general advice, but here's the reality of the facts of jiu-jitsu. And I think this is with anything. Whenever you guys first learn a brand new skill and you have a mentor or someone that's guiding you, even if it's like woodworking or painting or whatever, you're going to follow a step-by-step process from your mentor or your guide, and you're going to do it very similar to how they do it. Jiu-jitsu is no different. You start to do that, but then over time, it's up to you as a jiu-jitsu practitioner to find your own self-expression, to find your game, and to take more ownership of your own training. I absolutely get frustrated sometimes when they're a blue belt, late blue belt, or purple belt, and they're just enamored with the idea that, well, my instructor hasn't told me what I want for purple belt, or they don't know what I need for purple belt. Well, have you gone and asked the instructor? Have you actually asked what they expect or what they need? And I guarantee you they're probably going to say, well, I want stuff to be smoother. I want you to see a game, or I want you to be this, because they know as an upper belt or as a black belt or whatever your instructor might be, that it really is up to you. You're the one that has to have a self-expression by the time that you get to purple belt and brown belt and black belt. Now they're going to guide you and they might make general recommendations, which they definitely should be helping with. If you're still needing help, ask, say, hey coach, what do you think I'm good at? What positions would you like to see me work? How would you like to see me transfer into my purple belt better? Is there a part that you think I'm weak on? Is there a part that you think I'm strong in? Collect that information, use that jiu-jitsu resource as a helpful information. So many times students are kind of a fear of their instructor or a fear of upper belt because you're not supposed to ask questions. And that definitely does have a problem with jiu-jitsu as a whole. Sometimes some academies are very militant and you can't ask the upper belts or ask the instructors for help. But most academies are not like that. Usually once you break down that barrier and you engage in that conversation for the first time, they're usually very open and they're usually very helping. It's very rare that I've ever heard of a story where a student has literally said, hey coach, can you help me with this? And the instructor just turns around and walks away and offers zero help. If that's the academy that you train out of, please find a new academy. There are much better academies or much better instructors out there that will not do that. So definitely instructors should not be degrading students, but also students need to understand that eventually their training needs to be taken to the next level by their own ownership. So that was a pretty interesting topic. I really like answering your guys' questions. So if you guys have more questions, make sure you put them down in below about future topics that you guys want me to talk about. If you guys are interested in free jiu-jitsu training and learning how to get your training better, check out my free 45-minute training down below where I go into more details about how to build an effective jiu-jitsu training plan. If you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I do offer an online coaching program where we go through different jiu-jitsu techniques. We break down your own game plan. We're part of a like-minded community where we do a mastermind call every week. So that way you guys can start getting better at your jiu-jitsu sooner rather than later. So if you're into that kind of stuff, make sure you check out that link down below and you can schedule a free strategy session with myself and we can see if you're a good fit. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.